Hello, hi everyone. How are you guys? Who are in here already? We just started. Hello, hi everyone. We literally just started for a few seconds and we're in here. Hi, Jane. Yeah, please say hi in the comment area if you're already in here. Hello, hi everyone. How are you guys? How are you guys feeling today? Okay. Yeah. Morning, morning. 波涛，看到波涛就想到汹涌，波涛汹涌。Yeah. All right. Okay. I think I'm all done and good to see everyone. Today is pretty smooth day. I have actually changed a new recipe for breakfast. So every morning, I no longer need to spend extra time to make breakfast to eat because I started with a new type of breakfast that is considered to be quite traditional in China. But somehow that is also a very healthy kind of breakfast. So it uses black rice and that is considered to be quite traditional in China. But somehow that is also a very healthy kind of breakfast. So it uses black rice and also red peanuts, jujube. Is it jujube or jujube? You cannot what else? What else? Yeah, and also goji and what else? Yeah, lots of the things in it because somehow, you guys know that I'm always very passionate about taking care of my body using the traditional Chinese medicine. So somehow that is also considered to be a very healthy kind of breakfast that is used to help to provide more qi and more xue, which is blood, right, into your body. So basically means that's gonna provide lots of energy to you. Yeah. 你现在在英国吗？不在英国，在上海，在上海。Sounds delicious and good nutrition. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, usually like if you want to make it delicious, you have to put some brown sugar. Okay. So according to traditional Chinese medicine, brown sugar is very good for body, especially for women. For example, when women has their period, if they suffering from like menstrual cramps, or for example, if ladies have just gave birth, okay, drinking some brown sugar tea or ginger brown sugar together tea is very good for you to warm up the womb and entire body to provide energy. So if you put some brown sugar to that, it's gonna make it very delicious. However, usually I don't because that is like too much calories, so that's why it's not that tasty, but it's definitely very okay. Yeah. 难怪每次到这个日子，海外就不让发图片，不让发弹幕了。啊，啥意思啊？这个日子是啥日子呀？今天是几月几？哦哦哦，OK。你不说不知道，一说这个突然间发现了，不是红糖，就红糖。Yeah, like porridge, exactly like porridge. Yeah，今天这个日子要当心一点，讲话要当心一点。呀，哎呀，对，想起来了，我还没有把我的这个羊斗给开出来。嗯哼。嗯，对，是的，你没说我都没有反应过来，你说了我才反应过来，所以我想说今天是什么？I mean, oh my God, I mean, like time really flies so fast. It's already like half a year is gone. Like I feel like literally yesterday is just a new year, and today is already in June, and half of the year is gone. Oh, it is so quick. I know the Korean mixed grain version japjuk. What is japjuk? I know like Korean has lots of really good recipe. For example, I really like japchae. 那个炒杂菜应该叫 japchae, I think. And also they have so for example their rice, what is called 石锅 rice, so everything that is cooked in like stone pot, the stone pot, the kind of thing, you would just put different kind. You put rice and also spinach and also mushrooms and beef, whatever, and then just put some Korean sauce and just stir it. Like super tasty as well. Korean food is pretty tasty, yeah. However, it really depends on the sauce. Like some people complain about Korean food by saying that basically Korean food just tastes all the same because somehow they just use the same type of sauce. I love japchae. You love it too, right? Well, as a matter of fact, I thought japchae is very easy to make. I tried it at home, but somehow maybe I'm not so talented at cooking. I just don't know how to make it. Yeah, but japchae is quite tasty. So if, like nowadays, like for me, whenever I decide like what food to eat for the day, so one of the secret I have just to eat a rainbow. Okay, eat a rainbow. So everyone, like if you have the same problems every day, you're just like struggling what to eat. You know, one of the very easy way is just to see what are the colors that you're not eating today. For example, if you look at a rainbow, right, is are you eating anything that is red? Are you eating anything that is orange, yellow, green, and also purple, right, and black and white? So these are the different kind of colors. Just take a look at what are the food that is missing in the color maps, and then just add that extra thing in here. And that is how you're able to make everything so nutritious and provide enough nutrition. So, according to a health theory, you're supposed to eat a rainbow every day or every 2 days. And also, throughout the entire week, you should just eat at least 30 different ingredients. That also counts in vegetables, both vegetables and also fruits. Yeah. What is the news today? What is the news? What's anything special about today? So I woke up this morning and checked the news, but nowadays like nothing. I don't find anything special. So yesterday, like we share about this like girl, right? This girl who made this speech in Harvard University graduation ceremony. That is something new, right? That is something new. That is something that is worth discussing. Apart from that, all the headlines, all the news are basically just about politics, you know, which we're not really free to talk about, especially given the date of today. So you guys know what day is it today. So I'm not gonna elaborate more on that. Yeah. So yeah, how many of you guys have actually checked this video yesterday that this girl talked in on Harvard University graduation ceremony? How many of you guys have actually checked it? Like, do you guys, for those of you who are in my live stream yesterday, what do you guys feel? What do you guys feel? Like, do you actually agree with what I my opinion or not? I actually after my live stream, I actually just went back to watch her video again, and to be honest, I still think like she does pretty okay. And also I paid a like a closer attention to the content. 你是哪国的？麦克，你猜一下。你从我的中文听起来，你觉得我是哪国的？你觉得我的这个中文讲的怎么样？你觉得我是哪国的？Yeah. So what platform is Nytrix? Reading the comments and interact. So I usually actually just interact with two platforms only, which is Rednote and also TikTok. These two platforms. Hi, I sent you a message. Please check it out when you have time. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. So, so yesterday I also I took a closer look at this girl's content, like about her speech in Harvard University, okay, about her speech in Harvard University, and really read the content. To be honest, I did again and still felt like the content of her speech is pretty good. Well, I'm not so sure like why people are saying that, because maybe nowadays, like thanks to social media, people are just so used to seeing everyone so close to themselves, right? No matter it's a celebrity or it's a like political figure, whoever, by using the social media, everyone just feel like they're so close to anyone who's like before was not so reachable, and somehow it feels like, oh, okay, I can actually interact with this person directly, and I can see what this celebrity and what this political figure are doing every day, just like that. 你在和老外聊天啊，其实有很多中国宝宝，我们评论区有很多中国宝宝的。我们的这个直播间里边是一个非常全球化的直播间，所以哪里的人都有，这是一个 各种文化、各种观点互相碰撞和交流的一个非常好的一个直播间。所以也非常欢迎麦克在此驻足，然后在这边也可以参与我们一起讨论哈。I checked in. I feel sad she's getting attacked locally and from Westerners for different reasons. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I also feel quite sorry for her. Like I said yesterday, I couldn't understand like the reason why she got attacked by Westerners, right? So somehow nowadays, to be honest, like right exactly after this kind of tension between our country and also the Western countries, somehow today, Chinese people are no longer like before. I remember back then in my days when I went abroad, I share with you guys, right? I studied in the US and also studied in UK before. And somehow back in the days, like everyone is pretty like really good to Chinese people. And nowadays, like especially when January and TikTok, lots of TikTok refugees after the TikTok ban, lots of TikTok refugee came to Red Note, and somehow like Chinese people on Red Note were showing our warmest great welcome to all those people, right? It was really good interaction, and we showed our like warmest welcome to all those TikTok refugees. And at the same time, that we have been like really humorous and really generous with all the foreigners. However, just from that moment, lots of students currently studying overseas, actually just pops up, and then they actually just said on social media platform and said that what, it's not true that what, you guys are like all the Chinese friends, you guys have been so kind to all the foreigners, but that is not how we are treated out there in the West. So lots of like Chinese students actually just came out and started to say something like that. Well, to be honest, I do not think that many of them are just basically saying that for the sake of just saying. I think many of them are saying that because they really truly experience lots of those kind of racial discrimination there in the campus during their study. However, many of the things that they shared, like for me back then in my years when I was studying overseas, was quite, you know, unimaginable. It was quite hard for me to imagine that such kind of like ugly things would happen to them, because back then in my years when I was studying in the West, like everyone's basically treating Chinese pretty well. That was the kind of impression I had back then. So, for example, when I was studying in the US back then, and lots of the classmates were like Americans, were very happy to help, right? And later on, when I did my master's degree in London, so the reason why I really love London is because London is such an international city where you see so many people from literally everywhere around the world, right? I said like if you walk randomly into any Starbucks and this in any street in London, and somehow the person that is helping you serving you the coffee, the person that is making the coffee will have the cashier, whatever, like the person you just talked to that is working in Starbucks, like the person can just have any accent. Okay, definitely not a London accent. It's pretty rare for you to find someone with London accent actually in London. As a matter of fact, you literally see people from everywhere. So during my study back then in London, I was able to make friends with so many people from like so many different countries. Definitely there are Americans, studying in London. I still remember there was a girl in my class whose name is called Kate, and she's from America. And also there is like people from other countries in Europe. I remember there was a guy called Chris. Somehow his personality was so lively, and somehow like everyone just felt like he, even though he's like 20, 22, 23 years old, he looks like he's only like 16 years old, something like that. Yeah. 这个2046真的就是怎么说呢？你可以说其他的任何事情，但你说我脸大这件事情，我真的要反驳一下哈。我的脸非常的小，我的脸非常的小，这个是所有见到真人的人都会说的一句话，就是我的脸很小。OK，脸是很小的，因为在镜头上面的话，你会看到这个，因为它把我的肩的比例给消掉了，并且为了让大家更清楚的看到我，所以脸是会显得很大。但是我的真人的脸是绝对很小的。你看我的手，拿我的手和我的脸比一下，你就会发现我的脸基本就是巴掌脸。Yeah, your UK uni was less than 2 hours drive from my uni. Oh, Lita Cat, which university are you? Where are you from? Yeah, which university were you from? What is your major in the US? Oh, I did an exchange program in the US. I actually did my undergrad degrees in Shanghai Jiaotong University. I only did an exchange program for a fall semester in the US. So it was definitely not my major in the US. So I did my undergrad degree in Shanghai. I did an exchange program in my third year in university during the fall semester in University of Texas in Austin. And afterwards, I went to London for a master degree. I did a master degree in London School of Economics, in London School of Economics, LSE. Okay, so if you ask me what is my major for my undergrad degrees, I actually studied accounting. Okay, I studied accounting. However, somehow I find accounting to be quite boring, and also the kind of jobs you could do after graduating for accounting would either be a like accountant in a large firm, okay, or you could just be a one of the auditor or tax advisors in those like big four companies. And somehow I have interned in both kind of roles, right? One of the internship I did was back then in the financial management program trainee, what they call FMP, okay, and GE, General Electric. And then the second internship I did was a audit intern in Ernst and Young. Yeah, and there was actually also a pretty interesting story back then. So I told you guys, I shared with you guys that I did my internship and I did my fall semester exchange program in UT Austin during my third year, right? So somehow the kind of the kind of mindset about like planning ahead back then when I was in university was pretty lagged behind. I did not really know like many others. So I know like many of my peers back then, the moment they entered university, they are already planning for the moment that they graduate from universities. So you notice lots of people were actually just applying for internship since their second year in the sophomore year, and then like by the end, by the time they were reaching the third year, what is the third year called? So the first year is called freshman year, and the second year is called sophomore year. What about the third year and the fourth year? What are they called? What was your major? I just said we. Oh, senior year? Yeah. Senior year, junior. Wait. Junior year is which year? Oh, wait. Junior year is the third year, right? Senior year is the fourth year. So it's freshman year and then sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, right? Am I right about it? What am I right about it? What are you driving? What? Okay, junior is third. Okay, got it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Okay, so during my junior year, so like by the time some people reach junior year, they already had like multiple internships, so that by the time they wanted to apply for jobs, they have a lot of things they could write on their resume. And also, what are you drinking? Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm not driving at all. Like, why are you asking me to drive? 红豆薏米水. So someone is asking me what am I drinking? So just so you guys, whatever you guys see me eating, drinking, whatever, everything is so healthy. Okay, everything is so healthy. I just shared that this morning for my breakfast. I ate what do we call like five red porridge 五红粥，基本上五红粥，大家知道有谁知道五红粥吗？Five red porridge and plus also some black thing in it. Okay, so red and black together. Red is good for the heart and good for building the blood, and black is the sesame, the kind of black thing that is good for liver, right? So there is so for my breakfast I had like heinomi. How do you say heinomi? Heinomi, black rice, and also red peanuts and jujube. These are all goji. These are all red, right? These are all red. And usually they would also put brown sugar, but I did not. Okay. And also apart from that, and I also put sesame, 芝麻，黑芝麻，然后还有什么? What else? Yeah, and that's all. Pretty much it. Yeah, black glutinous rice. Oh, okay. Good, thank you. So this is basically just 红豆薏米水, okay? Barley and red bean water that is good for dehumiliation, dehumidify your body, because I shared with you guys multiple times that I have this kind of 湿疹, this thing in here. Somehow, like whenever it starts to rain, because for the past long weekend, the Dragon Boat long weekend holiday somehow was just basically raining every day. The humidity level is definitely over 80%. And somehow, whenever the weather is so humid, so this thing just comes out because I have too much dampness in my body. I'm obsessed with Korean barley tea. So this is the same thing. This is the same thing. I need to eat rye often because I have high blood sugar. Oh, okay, high blood sugar 是高血糖是吗? Yeah, my mom had that too, no talk. My mom had that too. So somehow like I'm actually also studying it right now, like how to help her to reduce this level of that. Something called LCH or something, right? I forgot. Yeah. What's the traditional breakfast for Chinese people, Nytrix? So that is like that thing that I just said is the porridge is a very traditional Chinese breakfast. The porridge, you just basically put all those things that consider to have good ingredient and good nutrition and make it into a porridge and eat it. So to be honest, like I am a person that favors anything that is salty instead of sweet. So that's why usually for my breakfast, I do not eat those kind of things, right? I do not eat the kind of breakfast I just said with like jujube. Is it jujube or jujube? Like what's the pronounce the basically that's the date, right? Is it called jujube or jujube? Yeah. So like the okay, let's just call it jujube first, okay? So you guys know what I'm saying, 红枣, right? Like so I don't usually just eat porridge that is cooked using jujube, goji, and those kind of things because somehow that is the sweet type of breakfast. But these are extremely good for the health, extremely good for the body, especially for women, especially for women. Yeah. So somehow, like recently, it was also pretty funny. So my husband was recently having a lot of hair loss. Maybe it's because he has reached this age. Somehow, like when guys reach the age of over 30, sometimes somehow they just started to have hair loss. And then like he's having lots of hair loss problems. It was so funny. Every day when he brushes hair, somehow he could see like how many hairs that is lost on the comb, right? And whenever he brush it, it's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm losing so much hair, I'm losing so much hair. And he just brought his brush into me and let me see, like, you see how many hair? I'm like, that is literally nothing. And when I brush my hair, I lost so much more than you do. Like that is literally nothing. And for him, he's like, he's losing like 5 hair. He's already like, oh my god, I'm losing 5 hair, something like that. It was so funny. And somehow he's so nervous about his hair. Like every day he's just looking at a mirror and say, like, oh my god, I'm losing a lot of hair. Oh, I'm getting bald, something like that. And that is why that I'm actually just helping him, trying to see what are the Chinese way of helping him to regrow the hair. Yeah. So now that you're back in China, are you planning on making something big? Thank you, Tian Tian. I'm actually working as an entrepreneur myself. So yes, definitely planning on something big. Definitely planning, not only planning, but also doing something big right now. Okay. Yeah. So back to this funny story. So every day he's doing that. So somehow he's like so worried about it. He's complaining about every single day about this like hair loss problems. And like he would do a lot of funny things. For example, he wake up in the morning and he would actually observe how many hair that is lost, that is on the pillow. Wait, actually, I want to ask, like, do you guys like? I know there are many guys here in the comment area in the live stream, right? Do you, for those of you who also have like hair loss problems, could you guys just share with me if you have you do the very same thing? Tell me it's important that being bold is a very attractive thing nowadays. Oh yeah, you're so funny. I'll make sure I tell him. Okay, I'll make sure to tell him. Okay. So somehow I also remember No Talk back then said something like the one way he said she would actually say to her husband is that the bolder you get, the richer you will be, something like that. It is so funny. Yeah, so like for my husband, like he would do multiple things. Like for example, one of the things he would do is every day when he woke up in the morning, he would actually, the first thing he did is he would actually just turn back and look at the pillow and see if there is any like hair on the on the pillow. So how many hair he has lost over the past one night in one night's sleep. Okay, so that's the first thing. And for sure, like when he goes woke up, right, and started to brush the teeth and comb the hair, he would also start to observe himself in the mirror and see like about this area. Okay, it's around this area. Okay, is there any hair loss in there? Like does is there any new hair that is grown, something like that. And also like every night, every morning and every night he would also do something. So there is a specific kind of like medicine like you could apply to your scalp, and somehow that is good for growing hair. It is called 什么米诺地尔，米诺地尔. TCM says avoid damp food. to delay his hair loss. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, so somehow like he would also apply some of those kind of grow hair growth kind of thing, those kind of spray and lotion, exactly, right, in this area. And also it was so funny, someone told him that, so one of the good ways for you to grow hair, to make those kind of medicine, those kind of spray to work more effectively, is to heat them, okay, and to heat them. So there's no way for you to put on the stove to heat this area. So one of the good thing you could do is just to put a shower cap, okay, put a shower cap. So every morning and every evening after he applied this hairspray that helps to grow hair, like you would notice, like he do one thing, which is he starts to put on a shower cap, just wandering at home and waiting for the shower cap to warm up all the hair growth lotion. It was so funny. And somehow like all those kind of things he did not prevent him from the hair loss issue. So like he was so nervous about it, so he's so afraid that one day he will be a shower cap. That's funny, right? Yeah, that's so funny. There's so many funny things about him. Yeah. And guys, follow me please, if you haven't done so. Okay, follow me please, if you haven't done so, 还没有关注的宝宝们可以关注一波。 OK, for those of you who haven't followed me, there are over 160 people online at the same time. I'm pretty sure not everyone has followed me. If you haven't followed me, please follow me, okay? If you, I know you don't agree. My doctor said keto diet is most healthy. What is keto diet? Keto. What is keto diet? I'm not so. I have never heard about keto diet. Please let me know more, okay? Yeah. So for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And also for those of you who haven't joined our followers group, okay? This is our followers group. This is our followers group, okay? This is our family. For those of you who haven't joined, please join, okay? Yeah, what do you think about this returning route to US, Bolivia, Brazil, China, Japan, and USA? Yeah, that is pretty good, Dizzy. That is good, okay? High protein, low carb. Oh, so that is keto. High protein, low carb. Yeah, that is a good, pretty good diet. Why do I not agree with that? I definitely agree with that. High protein and low carbs, but it is definitely not okay to not eat carbs at all. Okay. Definitely not okay to not eat carbs at all, but like low carbs, that's actually the kind of thing we're doing right now. So we eat low carb carbs, but make sure just we eat all sorts of different ingredients. Yeah. Ultra low carb. Oh, that is ultra low carb. If it is ultra low carb, then I don't quite agree. Yeah, I don't quite agree, because according to the traditional Chinese medicine, you do need to eat carbs, because carbs are very important to provide what we call qi xue, okay? To provide all the energy, the basic energy in your body. Yeah, basic energy in your body. So like eating, like I do not agree that we need to eat a lot of carbs. Okay, I also keep the amount of carbs I eat every day, but somehow I consider carbs to be very important. Okay, so if not eating enough carbs, you would also have like hair loss problems. So for example, here in China, lots of the girls, when they start to go on diet, one of the things they do is they just stop eating carbs. Okay, lots of the girls, they start to do one thing, which is just stop eating carbs. Somehow, like, because carbs has lots of sugar in it, because say for example rice, right, or they can transfer it into sugar afterwards. So if you do not eat carbs, that is actually a very quick way for you to just lose weight. I actually tried it before. I remember when I first came to Hong Kong, it was not because I want to keep diet. I was pretty skinny back then in the early 20th. It was basically because like that weather, the weather there, the climate there was like so humid. I was not getting used to the climate there. And somehow I do not have lots of stomach for eating. Okay, I just don't feel like eating back then when I was in Hong Kong, when I first came to Hong Kong. And so basically what I did is every day I just ate very tiny amount of food, basically just meat and vegetables. And sometimes I don't eat dinner at all. Okay, sometimes I don't eat dinner at all. So what happened back then was that basically really low carbs. Okay, really low carbs. And somehow later on, what happened is that great hair loss, great hair loss. Like I have to, just clean the floor every single day, because if I don't do it, there's like literally hair everywhere, just my hair everywhere. And back then I tried all sorts of methods to help me to grow hair, for example using ginger oil, like Louis the Cat just said, right? Ginger oil, and also all those kind of hair products, and also went to those kind of spa center that helps you to treat the scalp, like all sorts of things. Tried everything of that and nothing really helps. until the moment I was able to really taking care of my body and started re-eating carbs. So eating carbs is very important, right? So back to the story, hair loss is biggest anxiety, and yeah, yeah, minoxidil. Is it minoxidil? Minoxidil? Yeah. So Shashi, so that is exactly what I'm saying that my husband is applying right now. Minoxidil. We call it minodiar. Minoxidil. So he's actually just applying minoxidil and in this area of his hair, and afterwards, because he wants to make minoxidil to work better, so that's why he would put a shower cap on top of his head. So it was so funny. Every day he's like putting a shower cap like this. And that shower cap is just like somehow like the way he put on the shower cap is not like us ladies, okay, put on a shower cap. He basically just put a shower cap around this area. So somehow it looks like he's a chef, a chef wearing, so instead of those kind of chef that wears a white hat, right? So he wears a shower cap. Yeah, it was so funny. 国内养生知识正在越来越年轻化，对，但是养生真的有用，真的有用，养生真的有用。养生中文英文怎么讲？养生真的太有用了，太有用了。Yeah, so like here. So one of the things like here later on, let me see how to say 养生啊。哎，这个打字怎么打不出来了呀？养生英文怎么讲？Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So somehow, like for my husband, like he tried that still. Health preservation, wellness, health maintenance, self care. Oh, 这些都是养生. Yeah. So nowadays, like here in China, lots of the young people pay actually close attention to like health maintenance, especially using traditional Chinese medicine way, because it really helps. Okay, really helps. This is not actually not superstitious. It's just so helpful. So it was so funny, like because like he's so nervous about this hair loss every single day, like from my husband. And like you ask, like, oh, does the shower cap actually work? Well, I'm not so sure, but judging from for the past 1 week, he actually just did it for over the past 1 week. Okay, 他早就发现你是一个痴迷者，我是一个超级大痴迷者。Yeah, so he wear the shower cap for 1 week, somehow like didn't stop the hair loss. Okay, so every morning when he woke up, he observed the pillow still there are lots of hair there, and so somehow like every morning when he comb his hair, still there's lots of hair on the combs. And also like he observed this area every day, observing himself in the mirror, and somehow it looks like this area is becoming just bolder and bolder. So looks like these are not helpful at all. So he's so panicking. So that's why I feel like, yeah, this is the time that I should step in. Yeah. So somehow, like when we first got together back then, my husband and I actually share lots of things about like health maintenance, those kind of Yangshen concept using traditional Chinese medicine. Like he never buys in. Okay, he never believes in what I just shared. Okay, he never believed in, because back then he was like so healthy and so energetic because he was young, right? He was so energetic and so healthy. And also before back then, his job was not so hard. Did not have lots. It was not like pressure, stressful at all. It was not stressful at all. So he was basically doing a job that was not so stressful at all, and also like he was pretty young, right? So he would not have any kind of the health problems like hair loss and like find it hard to sleep, and also feeling tired, those kind of things. Like compared to him, I, to be honest, I have shared with you guys, I was born to be the kind of body type. It was what we call here in Chinese 先天不足. 我属于先天不足. I was born to be quite weak. Okay, I have seen like traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and many said that okay, I was like born to be a kind of weak body. So from very early on, like I paid really close attention to doing all those health maintenance routine, and I study it. 以后建议开一个养生账，我觉得是的，我甚至可以专门去开一个账号去专门讲这个东西，因为我非常的 passionate about it，而且我确实懂很多，对吧？这么多年研究了，I have actually studied how to use traditional Chinese medicine to take care of your body for definitely over 10 years. Definitely over 10 years. Okay, definitely over 10 years, if not 20 years. Because like I said, I was born to be quite weak. So I have to like just find all sorts of methods. 开了通知我，好的，甜甜。期待 share 养生视频。好呀，我在我自己的这个账号后面，我也会发一些养生的视频，好来跟大家分享一下。因为这个东西我真的是 特别的passionate. I'm extremely passionate about those health maintenance. And lots of the Chinese friends here in the common area are actually asking me to make some videos to discuss specifically. And also, I remember in TikTok, I also received a message from one of our followers who asked me to also post videos because before we discuss about okay, spring is for nurturing wood, so that's why you need to eat anything green, right? Summer is for eating anything red. So there are also people are asking me that, hey, can you actually make a video with it? I've only been in your life for a short period, so I didn't catch the entire thing. So going forward, I will make some contents. You guys would notice one thing, which is I haven't really posted anything for quite some time. Okay, I haven't really posted anything for the past 2 to 3 weeks. The reason behind that is I'm actually working on something big. Okay, working on something big. So I am rethinking about what are the angles I should share in my content, how to make it more systematic, how to provide contents that are helpful to people, but at the same time could attract more followers. Okay. So that is something that I'm doing right now. So going forward, you would start to see me start to make some contents very systematically and like focusing on specific topics so that people would find it more helpful and entertaining. Have you asked him to join you on one of your live shows? Which one? Who? Whom? Like my Mr. Important? Yeah, so back to the topic of mom is Mr. Important. So guys, follow me please, okay? Follow me please if you haven't done so. Follow me please if you haven't done so, okay? Yeah, maybe next time I ask him to just show up wearing a shower cap every morning. That's gonna be funny. Yeah, that's gonna be funny. Yeah. So anyhow, like so what happens is that he's so panicking, right? And guys, follow me please if you haven't done so. Follow me please. How many of you guys haven't followed me? Follow me, okay? 还没有关注的宝宝可以关注一波. And also for any new joiners, just this is our tradition. For any new joiners in here, just keep on tapping the screen to send in likes, okay? Keep on tapping the screen to send in likes. That is something interesting about this live stream, okay? Thinking something big along with fixing hobbies, hair anxiety. Exactly, Shashi. You're right, exactly. So like he has like so much anxiety about his hair loss problems. So that is why like I feel like, oh, this is a time I need to step him. Like I said, back then when we first met, he was like really young and also doing a job that is not stressful at all. And also somehow he's like having a very healthy kind of routine as well, except that he's not using those traditional Chinese medicine way of keeping health, right? So somehow, like he was having no health issue at all back then. And when I shared with him all those kind of Chinese traditional medicine way, like daily routine I was doing, he was like, oh, that is nonsense. I don't believe in any of that. You know, there's no point of you doing that. And also, like, even though I did all that, like, I was not having a very strong body. I was still like pretty weak. So that's why I said that you got to ask him, Nitrous. I think we would love to have him be on your live. Yeah, sure. I will. Yeah. So I was basically just saying that to him, and he did not believe in that. He sometimes would even, tease me by saying that,你的身体养了半天也就这样. He was basically just saying that, huh, look at you. You've been doing all those like health routine and yet your body is still quite weak, something like that, okay? Yeah, 说你这个养了半天养了个寂寞. So there was a big so when I first started this live stream in January, in February, in early February, late January, right? And because this is some new thing that is added to my life, right? And also because after the live stream I started also doing cross-border e-commerce, right? So that is why just help him not to turn his hair gray. Yeah, sure. These are all the same, okay? Not turning the hair gray and grow hair, these are all interrelated according to the traditional Chinese medicine. So because I started to do live streaming and also started to do this new project, the cross-border e-commerce, like my life all of a sudden becomes so packed compared to before. So all the extra time I used for taking self-care now was used for doing live streaming and also for basically doing this new project, cross-border e-commerce. So that's why like starting the moment I started live streaming to I think last month, I basically did nothing about health self-care. OK，从这个2月初1月底开始，一直到这个上个月吧，基本上这段时间是没有做任何养生的。I was basically doing nothing like I did before because I was so busy, right? And somehow, like I could just see like my health started to deteriorate, and my husband saw it too. He saw that once I stopped doing all those traditional Chinese medicine routine of healthcare, self-care, like he also witnessed with his own eyes that how my health issue, like how I would like how my entire body health condition like deteriorated like significantly. And so he also started to say like something like he shared with me like you shouldn't just focus 100% on your career, right? The reason why you wanted to build a career is because like maybe you just want to be successful, want to make money. But the reason why you want to be successful, the reason why you want to make money is eventually you want to live a happy life, right? You maybe you would want to have like kind of a lifestyle like this, like that. You want to be happy eventually. So you shouldn't just do this right now and just abandon all the happy elements from your life. You need to have a very balanced kind of life. So after he said that to me, okay, I changed my mindset. I returned back to the kind of routine where I would actually just separate some time every single day to really take care of my body. So starting from last month, I started to take care of my body, return back to those kind of routine, like I share with you guys. Like for example, every morning right after the live stream, I would start to do like 八段锦. Okay, that is a Chinese like exercise that is good for lifting up the energy, right? That is the first thing I did, and also 拍八虚, I share with you guys like how to pat the 8 parts conjunction points of your body, right? That is good for clearing all the blockage inside your body, make the blood circulation to be better, right? And also to do the face gua sha, right? Face gua sha, 面部刮痧, using the plate, right? Every morning, apply some oil and start to do face gua sha. So these are the morning routine, right? When it comes to the evening, then I would do something. 八段锦 is like similar to Tai Chi, similar to Tai Chi. You could actually just think of that as Tai Chi. That is fine. If that is easy for you to understand, it's very similar to Tai Chi. So basically, do the very same thing like Tai Chi, okay? Yeah, 我有一个一模一样的刮痧法，刮痧板真的很好。And also, during evening time, I would actually do lots of stretching, like really, 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 really stretching 的 stretching。我正在拍80，不要拿 good good good。Yeah，面部刮痧好像1周1次就行了啊，我每天都会刮，我每天都会刮。反正就这个早上刮一刮，但是你可能每一次刮的时间不要太长，不要刮太多，因为这样也会伤皮肤嘛。而且要 make sure like you apply enough oil before you do the face 刮痧。And make sure like every side you just don't gua sha for too many times, because if you do it too much then it's gonna hurt your skin. Okay, so definitely apply some massage oil to your face before you do all the gua sha, so that's how your skin will not be hurt. 我今天早上练8段锦，对吧？是 Is it friendly to sensitive skin？这个敏感肌的话要留意一下，我不是敏感肌。对，and I would do lots of stretching, yoga stretching. OK，怎么做伸展？这个网上有很多大量的教程，这个我看看有机会我出一期吧。我这个拉伸我还是有从头到尾有一套的。So stretch every part of my body every single night before going to sleep. I don't do it like just randomly. I do it very seriously. I would actually take out a yoga mat and starting from the head all the way to the toe, like do an entire body stretching. And at the end of this entire stretching, right now, I would also do 金刚坐, which is like you just sit, like you're kneeling and sitting on your how to say 金刚坐? Like basically you just sit like those kind of uh ancient Chinese drama. You would see people just sitting, right? So their knees like down below. I would do that. 耳环好漂亮，重不重？不重。如果这个保定土著选好吗？有兴趣这个看这个耳环的话，可以去找我的小清单。我的小清单里面有这个耳环，这个耳环质量是很好的，它上面的镀金这个是镀铜 ，OK，镀了五层铜，就是电镀了5层，所以它是不会掉色的，也就是水啊什么来着啊都没有什么问题。而且整个设计还是非常独特的，很好看。我每次戴这个耳环就会有很多人说很好看，所以可以去看一下我的小清单。OK，Yeah，and 耳环16颗，你还称过重啊？Yeah，and also what else？where were we？ Where were we？ Where were we？ 我们刚才在说啥来着？说啥来着？Oh yeah, yeah. So every day in the evening time, I would also do 金刚坐, right? So basically, you just kneel down and sit and also do deep breath. Okay, so that's the thing I would do. And also after doing all that, I would then soak my feet in warm water. 泡脚. Okay, soak the water in warm water for like 10 to 15 minutes. and to make sure the water temperature is around like 40, 40, 40, 45 degrees. So best is actually from 40 to 45 degrees. Somehow like I'm more tolerant to high temperatures, so that's why like I would do like 45 degrees. Okay, so somehow it is like enough warm but not too hot to make you sweat a little bit. That is the perfect. Okay, that is the perfect. So afterwards, then I would go take a shower. After taking the shower, then that's the time to lie down. Okay, the moment I lie down on the bed, I will start to do like rubbing the stomach. So like the everything I just shared with you guys, I do it every single day. So every morning, that is the kind of routine I do. Every evening, that's the kind of thing I do, and I have been doing it for a month. Okay, I said like I have stopped doing all that since the moment I started doing live streaming, and also till last month. Somehow I could see like my entire health condition deteriorated significantly. So that's why starting from last month, I restarted all those health routine. By every morning, I would do face gua sha, doing pai ba xu, right? Just clear all the blockage, and also doing ba duan jing, which is like similar to Tai Chi, right? And evening time, I would do lots of stretching, soak the water and soak the feet in the warm water, and also rubbing the stomach. I also share with you guys like how to rub the stomach, right? And so have just done that for the past 1 month. Could immediately see, could tell, just tell with bare eyes like how the entire body, the energetic level, the entire thing, just restarts to become like before. And my husband witnessed all that with his own eyes, like how I was like deteriorated to a point, and once I restarted doing all that, how I went back to before. And also drinking all those herbal tea based on like self observation, right? I would observe my like tongue, observe like, and also do some like self like pose. I know a little bit of it. I know a little bit of it. Yeah, 就是把脉我自己也懂一些些 like how to feel the pulse and tell the health condition. I know a little bit of that as well. So every day I would also drink those kind of herbal teas. You guys saw me drinking all sorts of things every morning, right? During my live stream, like lots of people, whenever I'm drinking something that has a color, people would ask me, what are the things you're drinking? So today, this is a barley and red bean tea. And yesterday, it's actually pear tea, pear 百合，我看一下百合那个莲藕，莲藕英文怎么说？我看一下。So yesterday was the peer and also 喜麦，我也想用喜麦，这个备孕太难了，烦死了。不过我们才刚刚开始哈。No talk 有没有什么这个备孕的建议，也可以在评论区给我哈。Yeah, some lily bulb and also lotus fruit. So these are the kind of things that I drink yesterday. Plus lily bulb and lotus fruit and also pear. So that's the kind of thing that I drink yesterday. So these are good for nurturing your yin energy inside your body. 都是滋阴的哈。And so today is the barley water because somehow my shizhen, this kind of thing here, is becoming more severe. So that's why going back to this dehumidify, dehumidify. Okay, dehumidify routine. Okay, drinking those tea. So ever since starting from last month, I started to have all those kind of health routine, and somehow like my husband witnessed everything with his own eyes, like how I was able to go from those kind of bad health condition all the way to now. Okay, for example, my skin becomes less oily and a lot smoother, something like that. So that's why he started to believe in all those kind of things. Okay, so he started to believe in those like traditional Chinese medicine way, and he started to listen to me to do something. He also, because like he was suffering some minor issues, because nowadays the kind of job he's doing right now is quite stressful. So when you have all those kind of stresses that is coming from your work, your health will start to have some problems, right? It was just inevitable. So one of the things I would do is then I asked him, first of all, to drink some herbal tea together with me. So that's the first step he took. Okay, he started to drink all those herbal tea together with me, and he noticed his body actually started to change. He also suffered from some of those kind of shijin problems himself as well, and also a stinky feet. Stinky feet. Lots of guys would have like stinky feet, right? Especially when it comes to summer, and he starts to drink all those kind of herbal tea I asked him to drink, and somehow he also has those kind of dampness in his body. So the one of the reason why some guys would have like extremely stinky feet is because like their body has lots of dampness. and also lots of heat. Those kind of heat and those kind of dampness would just make your the your palm and also make your feet become feel very hot. Okay, it becomes hot when you wear shoes. It will sweat, and the sweat stays in there and turns into bacteria, and then becomes stinky. So that is why, like, I asked him to drink those kind of barley tea to remove the dampness, the extra humidity inside his body. And the moment he started doing that, his stinky feet problem relieved. Okay, relieved a lot. So he also noticed that after applying my advice, okay, adopting the kind of advice I suggested to him about, taking care of his body, and somehow these things all worked. So that's why nowadays, like when he's having this hair loss problem, like every morning, so anxious about those hair, just looking at, it was so funny. Like he would just comb his hair, and it's like, oh my God, look, another 20 hair I just lost. Another 20 hair I just lost. That's so funny. I was like, 20 hair, that was nothing, right? I just randomly caught my hair. There are hairs in there as well. Right? It was so funny. And somehow is he started to listen to me. So that's why, like, nowadays, like, we started to change our breakfast routine from usually before we just eat anything. And nowadays, that's why we started from today. We started to have this kind of porridge that has like all sorts of ingredients that is good for building the blood energy inside the body, and which will later on help to grow the hair. So this breakfast recipe is actually for health hair growth. So I actually checked on Red Note, so many notes, like saw lots of people sharing all the advice how to grow your hair. So the secret behind the hair growth, according to lots of content creators out there, according to my research, okay, according to my research, basically, if you basically just do three things. From So if you are also having hair loss problems, there are just basically three things you must do. Okay, first of all, just use minoxidil. Okay, 用米诺地尔 minoxidil. That is the kind of medicine you would need to apply to your hair. That is definitely helpful for you to grow hair. Okay, minoxidil. And the second thing is to brush the hair. So lots of those kind of hairspray that helps you to grow the hair is basically about increasing the blood circulation around the scalp. So that's why, like, if you do anything manually to help increase the blood circulation around your scalp, that is also helpful for you to grow the hair. So that's why, like, brushing the hair, but somehow just don't use those kind of hairbrush. Use some specific type of hairbrush that is more for massage rather than for brushing. Okay. So also, I placed an order to purchase that kind of a hairbrush. Okay, for him, so that he could use that to massage his hair. Okay, so hair massage, scalp massage is very important. That's the second thing, and the third thing is to eat. Okay, start to eat something that is helpful for you to grow the hair. So according to the Chinese traditional medicine, 这个发是血之余, they're saying that your hair is the fruits of your blood, something like that. Okay, I'm not so sure how to translate that directly into English, but somehow the meaning is that your hair is the results or the fruit of your blood. So that's why you definitely need to eat something that is going to be helpful for you to build more blood or more qi inside your body. Lots of people say mayonnaise stops hair loss. I don't believe in that. Mayonnaise is actually pretty unhealthy, unless you are saying that apply to the hair. If you are saying like eating mayonnaise is good for the hair, then I don't quite believe in it. Yeah, so that is why, like, so we started to eat lots of things like yeah, exactly, 肾对吧，肾主头发的，肾 is good for 肾 your kidney is linked to the hair growth somehow. Like by eating food that is good for the kidney, that is how you're able to build 气血 and also grow the hair. So that is why, like, starting from today, we have this new breakfast routine. Inside this porridge, we would have lots of things that is helpful for growing the blood, and also helpful for the liver. Yeah, apply to the hair and not eating. Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe we can do one thing. So I do it first to test my hair. So I said to my husband, since I have more hair than you do, so if we try anything new, I just try it myself for you, right? It's okay for me to lose some hair because your hair is so precious. Let's not try it. Yeah. So if that is good, then I can do it for first, right? To just apply some mayonnaise in my hair first to see if it really helps with the hair growth. If it is, then ask him to do it. Yeah. I'm such a good wife. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Yeah. So somehow that is the kind of health routine we're doing right now. Yeah. So enough of this very interesting topic, but we can go back. I remember before we jump to this topic about this healthcare, self care, all those health maintenance routine. Is there a saying 聪明绝顶? Yes, Louis the cat. Yes. Wait, let me think. Does 聪明绝顶 means like you're so smart that you have no hair? 聪明绝顶的绝顶是什么意思啊? Now that you have said it, it really, really makes me wonder what does this 绝顶 mean? Because somehow 绝顶 actually could mean that you have no hair, like you're bald, because you're so smart that you have no hair. Because 绝 in Chinese means that get rid of something completely, something like that. 顶 means the top, right? The top of your head. So 绝顶 something means like getting rid or remove the hair completely. So somehow it says like, if you're so smart, you have no hair at all, something like that. 聪明绝顶。对哦，聪明绝顶的绝顶是啥意思啊？绝顶真的是没有头发的意思吗？贵人不顶中发哦，还有这种说法，贵人不顶中发是我第一次听到这个说法，太有意思了。Oh my god, Blue Cat, you're so smart. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like you have surprised me so many times. You so before you were teaching me lots of the knowledge about other cultures, right? Other countries and other places history, right? And now you are teaching me about the Chinese 成语. That is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, she is amazing. She is amazing. Yeah. Okay, so okay, back to the topic. I remember we were actually or also 头发长见识短. Also Louis the Cat. So that one 头发长见识短 was usually back then in history to describe women. Okay, so they love men would say like as a woman you have long hair but short vision, something like that. 头发长见识短, the longer your hair, the shorter the vision you have. So like this is the something like back then in Asian time that men discriminates women and discriminates their wives. So basically just say that women do not know anything about this world. So and there's also saying in ancient China that is called 女子无才便是德. It is like moral for women to know nothing at all, to not study, to know not no knowledge at all. 绝顶的本意是顶点极点的意思。OK 所以不是没有头发的意思是吗？但是 somehow 绝顶好像也能翻译成没有头发哈。That was pretty funny. Yeah, so back then in ancient time, lots of yeah, that's not nice. Yeah, back then. So that's why like nowadays, if you see lots of Chinese drama that was telling the story about ancient China, you would also notice they would have those kind of lines saying out like a man would say to his wife like, stop giving advice, stop talking. You women have long hair and short vision, something like that. So that is called 头发长见识短. Usually back then was described used to just describe or mention to women. That is definitely not nice. Yeah. But someone else just explained that 聪明绝顶, that 绝顶 actually means extremely, not losing hair, get rid of hair, something like that. So 聪明绝顶 actually means like this person is extremely smart, but somehow 绝顶 you could have another way of translating it, which is like getting rid of your hair completely, something like that. Yeah, that's also pretty funny. Yeah. Could you please talk a little bit about your opinion about Miss Jiang? We actually have talked about for 2 hours yesterday about my opinion about Miss Jiang, but I can actually do it again because I do want to just talk for her. I just do want to talk for her because like she has been treated so unfairly. I seriously think she's been treated unfairly. So I think I have actually just come back to watch her video again yesterday after my live stream. So the entire topic for yesterday was basically about her. Okay, basically about her. So I spent literally 2 hours just sharing my opinions and just trying to, say for her, just trying to say for her that I think she's been treated so badly, so unfairly on the internet. No matter it's the Chinese netizen here or the Westerners, there's basically so many people who are attacking her out of nowhere. And so I feel like I after watching the video again, I somehow could tell like where those kind of attacks comes from. Okay, so she is kind of well, I feel like there are multiple reasons why like people wanted to attack her. Do it again because I missed a lot of yesterday. Yeah, sure, no dog. Okay, sure, no. So first of all, okay, let's discuss a little bit about Miss Jiang. Okay, first of all, I'll have to I can explain the entire thing, what's going on. Okay, so there's a lady, there's a girl. Okay, around like mid 20s, or maybe early 20th. She's pretty young, okay? So she's the very first Chinese girl that got selected by Harvard to present, to be the student representative, to give a speech in the Harvard's graduation ceremony. Okay, that is Miss Jiao. Okay, Tommy Mommy, Tommy Mommy，有一个叫蒋同学。OK，蒋同学。So basically, she is the very first lady that got select a Chinese girl. Okay, Chinese girl that selected to be the student representative to give a speech, in Harvard's graduation ceremony. And because of that, her video went viral on the internet, no matter it's in China or in the West. Lots of people started to see her because of this video of her making the speech in Harvard's graduation ceremony. Well, the thing is that, well, the fact that she as the first Chinese girl to be selected as a student representative to present in front of so many people, more than 20,000 people or even 50,000 people, right? If you were counting all the people sitting behind the screen to watch it from live, then that's like way, way more, right? And well, for the crowd, there are not only graduates, but also students that are extremely smart and also like very successful entrepreneurs, successful people, and also the presidents of the Harvard University, right? All those prestigious people out there sitting down below, and she is presenting her speech in front of all those like extremely smart, extremely excellent people, right? And that's a big crowd. So that itself is a very, 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 that is definitely something that is worth to be brag about. There's something like, if you can do it, something you must feel like really proud of, right? And I also like, to be honest, like if you're a Chinese, okay, she's from Qingdao. Yeah. Also, like as a Chinese, like I feel like really proud to see a Chinese girl like herself able to make a speech in Harvard's graduation ceremony. However, the kind of thing like people say is that, everyone basically just criticizing her. People criticize about her father help all the way to Harvard. Not as Sheen explained. Okay, Leslie, we can actually come back to that point later. Okay, I can come back to that point later. So let me first of all explain what's going on right now. So what's going on is after she did that, there are so many people out there criticizing her. Okay. So if it comes to the Western, like in the US, lots of people were criticizing her because they said that, okay, why ask a Chinese to speak in the Harvard's graduation ceremony, right? So, okay, I could understand that where that comes from. Because nowadays, like somehow there's like a big wave of racism against Chinese people. Somehow that's going on out there. Like lots of foreigners were not treating Chinese people very nicely, especially after COVID, and lots of the Chinese students right now studying overseas were also complaining about it. We're also saying that they were treated unfairly. There were lots of like discrimination against Chinese people were going on out there. Like there was an Asian hate out there in the US specifically, especially. I think that's because of some political reasons. I don't like that. I don't think that should happen, but somehow this is inevitable. There's not a lot like we can do a lot. We can try our best, but to be honest, like the kind of effect is not controlled by a single person, right? There's like not a lot a single person can do to stop that, right? So somehow, like when lots of Westerners were attacking were attacking her, lots of Americans were attacking her, basically by saying that why ask a Chinese to present the speech, to be selected as a student representative to talk in Harvard's graduation ceremony. Okay, for that part, I understand. I understand because that's basically what's going on right now, right? So somehow here in China, like lots of the Chinese people were also attacking her. That is something that I do not understand. That is like something I do not understand. Like lots of like people in here were basically just attacking her as well here in China by saying that, oh, you know what, like she speaks really bad English, like her English is so bad, and also like the content she's saying in her speech actually makes no sense at all. So 假大空, we say it here in Chinese, right? So those are the things people are attacking her, and also lots of anger were also around. Like Ludica said, like she has a family ties. Okay, Ludica is so funny. You know what? In the West, the Western anger was that she has a family ties to CCP affiliated NGOs, right? But here in China, we are also attacking her. Lots of the people here were also attacking her by saying that she was not able to get Harvard without her father's help. She was only able to get into the school because of her family ties to the school. So you see, like it was. I'm not so sure. Okay, maybe these are true. I don't know, but these are definitely, you know, different. You see the West and East, like the West and China were both attacking her, but the coming, so both were attacking her from the standpoint of her family, but somehow the angle were different, right? The West were attacking her, saying that her family were related to CCP affiliated NGOs, right? And somehow here in China, we were not attacking her for that. We were attacking her, saying that, oh, okay, she was supported by her family, so that is why she was able to get into the University of Harvard, something like that. Okay. So that's basically going on. So first of all, like for me, okay, I do not know anything about her. I do not know anything about her family. But I have to say this. Nowadays, like, is it her alone? NGOs, non NGO, I'm not so sure like the full name for NGO, but basically just means nonprofit organization, something like that. Yeah, nonprofit organization, something like that. Okay. Yeah. So it's okay, no, I just keep asking the question. The more the better, because we need more interaction in the comment area. Okay. So the more questions, the better. You guys have non-government organizations. Yeah, non-government organization. That is called a NGO. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just sending a question in the comment area, because the more interaction, that is how this live stream can be pushed to more people. Okay. Push more people. And guys, for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. Okay. For those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And just for new joiners, just so you guys know, we have this tradition in this live stream. Everyone just keep on tapping the screen to send in likes, okay? Keep on tapping the screen to send in likes. Definitely keep on tapping the screen to send in likes, okay? And for those of you who haven't joined, who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me. And also here is our followers chat group. This is our followers chat group, and this is our family. If you haven't joined our family, don't forget to join our family in here, okay? Join our family in here, okay? Yeah. Okay. So let's first of all talk about this family thing. Okay. Let's first of all talking about this family thing. Hi, nice meeting you. I'm Devin. Good to see you, Devin. Yeah. Join our family in here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's first of all talk about this family thing. Okay. Let's first of all talking about this family thing. Hi, nice meeting you. I'm Devin. Good to see you, Devin. Yeah. So way, just work that way. You just look at one thing, which is the tuition fee. You just look at the tuition fee for those Ivy League school. You look at Harvard tuition fee. You look at Columbia tuition fee. You look at MIT tuition fee, Princeton tuition fee. Those schools all have like extremely high tuition fee. Like for a single year, we have said multiple times that their tuition fee is above like 80,000 US dollars per year for local students, not to mention international students. So if you want to study in those kind of elite school, unless you're extremely smart, you're able to apply successfully the scholarship. Otherwise, you just have to be rich. So it's not, you just have to come from a powerful family, a rich family to get into those Ivy League school, those elite school, right? So that's why she's not alone. Like there are so many people out there who's from a rich family who's currently studying in those like Ivy League school. So you are saying like, oh, okay, the fact like she's able to get into the university, like I feel like that is not fair to her because there are just so many people out there just like that, right? So I do not know anything about her background. So maybe there is something like special about her family background that helps her to get into the top university. But what I mean, like back in the day, back at the end of the day, well, there's absolute fair in the world, right? That there's no absolute fair. Like well, some people were born in extremely poor family. So like for example, for me, if I were born in let's say extremely poor family in a very small country, there's no way for me to be able to study in LSE, those top universities, right, in the world, right? So somehow there are plenty of people out there. I'm pretty sure there are like a pretty like decent percentage of the population of the students like who are currently studying in Harvard and those Ivy League school who comes from a pretty decent family. So you just need to have those kind of financial support for you to study in those kind of schools, right? Well, that is well. Okay, so you could also argue by saying that this is not fair, right? Everyone should be given equal opportunity to study, to get equal opportunity to get good education. You could argue that, definitely. You could argue that, right? But that is not this girl's fault. This is not this girl's fault, right? This is not her fault to be born in a pretty decent family. And also, it's not her fault that her parents, her family would want to help her using every resources they have to send their daughter to a top school, right? If I have children in the future, if I have all the resources, I would also try my best to send my children to attend all those like elite school, right? It is not her fault, right? So like recently, more people know what NGO is really is. Why are you saying that? Yeah. So that is my first opinion, right? And secondly, there are so many people, so many extremely smart, extremely talented students out there in Harvard University who also comes from a pretty decent family. Why was she selected to be the student representative? I was also saying it in yesterday live stream. I mean, you could just pick someone else, like who also are pretty smart, who are intelligent, who also come from a very decent family, right? So there are plenty of people. 我相信在哈佛这种非常顶尖的学校，这种 committee that she should be the one to be picked as the student committee that she should be the one to be picked as the student representative, right? To be picked as student representative to present her speech in front of everyone in the Harvard graduation ceremony. Harvard also knows that their graduation ceremony is a big attention, so every year, their graduation ceremony will be a big focus for the entire world, not only for one single country of US, but for so many people around the world. So whoever they pick to be the student representative is very, very important. So if they don't pick the right person to be the student representative to speak in front of the crowd, if they pick someone who's not qualified, who's not capable of making the speech in front of the crowd in the graduation ceremony, then the university itself will also be scolded. So I'm pretty sure that this is after careful selection. This is not like easy. This is not something that, oh, okay, my family has background, so that's why they're really okay. My family has a very strong background. My family has a good relationship with the principal, with the president of Harvard, so that's why I'm able to just get a spot to talk in front of all the students there. And remember, her family is a Chinese family. Her family is not an American family, right? If you're talking about American family, yeah, maybe I would feel like, yeah, maybe, so Holman, right? So her family background, she's American. Oh, maybe, okay, her families might have a good connection with someone inside the committee and somehow like anything can happen, but she is a Chinese, so the chance of that is actually less than American, right? And also for the Harvard committee, they can pick people from literally everywhere around the globe, right? They can pick from students from Japan, from Korea, right, in Asia, right, from also other countries, from Europe, from America, from so many other countries. Why pick her? She's not competing with the Chinese students. She's actually competing with people, students from rest of the world. But why her? There must be something she did during her university years that makes her stand out, makes her qualified to be a student representative to present her speech in the Harvard graduation ceremony. So that's the kind of thing I said. Like, you couldn't just attack her simply because she comes from a decent family. I'm not so sure if she really comes from a decent family. Maybe yes, maybe yes. She does come from a very decent family, and also maybe also yes that her decent family background helps her to get into the top university. I said that I admit that a good family background is related to how whether you're able to get into university. Okay, but I also said that it is not her fault to be born in a very decent family, right? And there's also absolutely no wrong that her family would want to use every resources her the family has to send her to the top universities, right? I said like if I have children in the future, I would do the very, very same. And also I said that there are plenty students out there in the campus of Harvard who comes from very decent, very affluent, sometimes even extremely, extremely rich, ultra high net worth individuals, families, right? Those kind of families who are currently studying in those Ivy League school. I also said that there in the campus. Well, for those kind of universities, they also need money, right? They also need money. I said yesterday, if you're able to donate 2 million or 5 million US dollars to the university, there's pretty much a very high chance that your children will get a spot, will guarantee a spot to study in the university. As long as you are able to donate enough money to the campus, then somehow your children will be able to just study in those kind of university, because university also need a lot of money to run, right? So there are plenty of students out there who are extremely rich and somehow study there, but why her, right? So my opinion is that, it's okay that she comes from the rich family. I don't think people should attack her simply because she comes from an affluent family and her family helps her to get into the get into a top university. So I mean, like every family, if you have that kind of condition, you would do the very same. If you are like that, you have a children, you would do the very same, right? You could argue that it is not fair for universities to recruit students from like rich family just based on money or whatever, but that is the problem with the university. That is not the problem with her. That is not the problem with her. Do you guys actually agree with what I said? I feel like it makes sense, like for that, right? So I don't actually buy in that lots of people say that, oh, you know what, oh, she comes from a very affluent family and like that's why she gets into the university, right? So first of all, I don't think like the fact that she's from a very good family and the family helps her to get in university is like anything wrong, on the condition that she's also pretty smart. Okay, she's pretty smart. So she is like really really smart as well, I think. If she is not smart at all, like I said, there are plenty of students out there who's extremely affluent, who comes from a like good family background, studying there in the Harvard. But why she, right? Why she gets the opportunity to speak in the Harvard University? There must be something she did during her university years that makes her really stand out, makes her really qualified after the discussions by those committee inside Harvard, right? And makes how somehow makes her qualified to be the kind of person to speak, to make a speech in front of such a big crowd, right? And also, some people here in China also argue that, oh, it's because of her father. That's why she was guaranteed a spot to somehow present in front of the crowd to be selected as a student representative in the Harvard University, right? And I was saying that if you are the parents, if your children were sent to the university simply by money, your children are not smart enough, your children do not have the capability to present a big speech in front of 20,000 people or 50,000 people, will you want your kid to do that? Even if you can give your children this opportunity, will you still make your children to stand there to make the speech? Make the speech. Everyone just think about it, right? You are a very rich parent yourself, you have a lot of money and you're like the brother or the sister of the principal of the Harvard, and you just have the power to decide who can present in the graduation ceremony, and you have a children somehow, but your child was sent to the Harvard University simply by money, and he or she is not smart at all, and he or she does not have the ability to speak in front of a crowd of 20,000 people, 30,000 people or more, will you actually put him or her in the spot of giving a speech, giving a presentation there at the Harvard graduation ceremony, where this video might be broadcasted to every single person on this planet? Everyone will see how this person's speech is doing. Will you do that? I'm pretty sure that as a parent, even though, like, say for example, if I am the parent, say for example, if I do have this power to make sure that my kid has this kind of opportunity to present in front of a large crowd, but somehow I also know that my kid was sent to the school only by money and he is definitely not smart at all, I would not do that. But you can see the way they pick students to enter their campus must affect the way they pick representatives. What do you mean? Could you please elaborate a bit more? Could you please elaborate a bit more on that? Yeah, I want to see. I can tell a little bit that your opinion might be different from mine, but I want to see more elaboration. Okay. I do welcome opinions that is not same as mine. Okay, I do welcome all kinds of opinions. So I encourage you guys to elaborate more your opinion in the comment, and that is called communication. Okay, that is called communication. That is called brainstorm. That is called whatever you guys talk. Okay, that is called like what we're doing right now in here. Okay, so that's why I say I feel like if this parent, like I said, okay, back to the topic, I was saying like, okay, no matter it's the parents or the children itself, right? So say for example, I was sent by my parents only using money to Harvard. And somehow I also know that my parents could give me this opportunity to present in front of the entire um all the entire crew and also all the students in the campus of Harvard and the Harvard graduation ceremony, but I know that I'm not capable of doing that. Even my parents could give me this opportunity. I do not dare to stand on the stage to do that. As a parents would not send their children to do that, and as a children, I would not dare to do that, right? So this person must, well, first of all, I would say like she's already very successful by being so brave to stand on the stage to make the presentation, right? So I feel like for sure, like I said, like for sure, like she is like something good about her. There must be something good about her. Like, okay, you could say like you could argue that, oh yeah, maybe she comes from a good family background. Oh, okay, she's affluent, but there must be some other reason. This cannot be the only reason she's selected to be the student representative to present out there, right? If that is the only reason, if you only select people who comes from a very rich family, or you select people based on how powerful their father is, I'm pretty sure this girl is not the richest, the most powerful. That does like her dad is definitely not the richest, the most powerful. There, you have no idea how many rich people out there in those Ivy League school, like extremely rich people, and like extremely powerful people out there. You have no idea. So, like, I mean, if you say that they pick this student representative simply judging by how rich her family is and how powerful her family is, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other options. Way more better options, like family students with family backgrounds that is even richer, that is like even way more powerful than her, for sure. So that is not definitely not the only criteria, right? And also if you just pick someone that is from this kind of family and somehow stands on to the stage and was not able to make a very deep kind of speech and was not able to just talk properly in front of a big crowd, no. And also every year, like so many students would graduate from Harvard. And also like way more people would actually look at, I would actually watch Harvard's graduation ceremony, right? Everyone would see who is picked to be the student representative to present during the graduation ceremony. So every person that is selected to be the student representative, this person for sure is not only, is just like from a rich family. There must be something good about this person. There must be something about this person. Like if you look at lots of the university here in China, you could argue that, oh, okay, some of the university here are pretty um uh is it what's the word? Oh my god, 又卡壳了. Pretty abrupted. Is that the right word? Abrupted. You could also argue like lots of the university here in China is pretty abrupted. You could also argue, oh, lots of the universities in the US are pretty abrupted as well, right? Wait, is abrupted the right word? Somehow I forgot this word. Yeah, and but at the end of the day, those kind of students representatives, those kind of those kind of students that selected usually to do something special is never not good. Corrupted. Yeah, corrupted. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Corrupted. Yeah, that's the right word. Corrupted, not abrupted. Abrupted means interrupt, right? What does abrupted mean? Yeah. What does abrupted mean? Yeah. Yeah. I was saying like you could argue also the university here in China is corrupted. You could also say that lots of universities out there in the US are also corrupted. You could say that. You could argue that. But at the end of the day, whoever that was selected to do something that is so important, this person, okay, in Chinese, we say like 这个人肯定不会差到哪里去, right? Or to stall, okay? Yeah, so for this person, well, is definitely not anything not smart or anything not intelligent, right? So if this person is too bad, right, just 拿不出手，如果这个人真的是很拿不出手的 yeah, if this person selected to do something important to complete an important mission selected by this university is really like not intelligent at all, not smart at all, like nothing special about this person. Like there are so many people would just be out there like just literally just saying that okay, she shouldn't just be there, right? So I feel like there must be something like Harvard University is not a new university. This is a university has been around for so many years, like hundreds of years, right? And somehow they have had so many graduation ceremony. So they must have a very mature system of selecting student representative. They know who are the people they absolutely cannot select as the student representative. So you could argue that, yeah, maybe they also take family background into consideration when they select student representative, but you could not argue that they select people purely just based on family backgrounds without considering whether this person is capable or not, whether this person is like special or not, something like that, right? Yeah, so that's why, like in my opinion, I consider this Miss Jiang, 这个蒋同学, she definitely is at least a smart, intelligent student. And there's a very high likelihood that during her time in Harvard, she also did something special. I'm pretty sure, like when she takes out her resume, the resume is pretty shiny. There must be something that is very special about her when you really see her resume. Lots of people say that she actually is not coming out to say anything, is not explaining everything. Well, actually, I consider that to be smart, right? When you are at the kind of a center of the media, right? Are you at the center of the media? No matter what you explain, people would just interpret your explanation in a way that they want to interpret it. So no matter what she explains, like people would just say that you're actually lying, or they would just choose to believe in what they want to believe. So that is basically how media or social media works, right? For example, like me, I tried it multiple times. There are people coming to my live streaming, just attacking me out of nowhere. If there are people who just believe so strongly in the kind of things they want to believe, no matter how I explain myself, how I explain it, how I just try to argue, people just don't believe in it. So the fact that she is not out to explain about everything, I think that is a smart move. Just let it go. Just wait it till calm down, to wait people not paying attention to it. She stands out. She could say like, "Oh, I'm gonna post evidence about my family background. Oh, okay. Also, I'm gonna post evidence about like how Harvard University actually, you know, select student representative, and also post a resume of myself, like I'm actually pretty excellent. I'm pretty sure there are plenty more people out there will then start to do another thing, which is they start to just do a bigger dig, like a deeper dive into her family background, and also a deeper dive into her resume, and just try to find some tiny things that can prove that, oh, actually she's lying. They're right. They can do that. At the end of the day, like I said, people just believing what they choose to believe. It doesn't really matter what the fact is. Lots of people just believing what the kind of things they want to believe, right? So keeping silence is gold. Sometimes like for her, like just keep silent at this moment might be a good strategy. Might be a good strategy, right? And also like I said, I actually watched the entire of her speech again yesterday after the live stream. I started to started to really realize like why people really do not like her, right? I said like the first time I watched her video, I watched her speech, I feel like the only problem, I said like there's nothing wrong. In my experience, the professors typically nominate these people. What kind of people, Desma? You can share with me in the comment area, okay? So, like, first of all, I said that lots of people said my English is good. Okay, judging from my perspective, I think her English is pretty good, pretty decent. even though she does have accent, but there's nothing wrong with accent, right? She's not from local America. She's not a local American. She's a local Chinese, right? It's definitely okay for a Chinese person to speak English using a Chinese accent. However, her English is very fluent and she has no problem. Like, I feel like her English is really, really, you know, she would have no problem to talk to Americans, to foreign friends using her English with this tiny bit of accent, right? Her English is no problem at all. And second, about the content, okay? About the content, to give honor speeches, she must have impressed Harvard professors. Exactly. In my experience, the professors typically nominate these people to give honors or speeches. So she must have impressed Harvard University professors. Exactly. I also agree. I think she must have done something during her years in Harvard that has impressed those professors. So that's why she got nominated first to be the student representative, right? Later on, they would also judge like all other kind of things, including the family backgrounds, to see whether she's really qualified to be the student representative, right? So that's the kind of thing. And also, okay, talking back about the content of her speech, right? Talking back about the content of her speech, I actually rewatched her video again yesterday after the live stream. I listened really carefully to the kind of things she shared during this speech. Well, I think that is a pretty good speech. I think that is pretty good speech. Well, so honestly, she's just a little girl. She's a little girl in her early 20th. She just literally just started her life, right? And she's able to raise the attention and really mention something about, we there are so many problems that we need to solve in this world. There are so many things we need to pay attention to in this world, right? There is still poverty going on. There's still war going on. She raised so many issues. Call for attention, call for action. I think that is a noble thing to do. That is a pretty noble thing to do, right? She could actually say so many things out there. Like, I just felt like at the end of the day, maybe people just don't believe in her kind heart. This world is saturated with negative power, negative energy. Like, people just start to not believe in those kind of beautiful things, like those kind of morality, those kind of things. 我感觉这个世界可能大家已经不再相信真善美了。所以，当有一个真善美的人真实的出现在你的眼前的时候，大家情愿相信这个人是有问题的，而不愿相信他是真实的。So somehow that is the kind of feeling I have right now. Okay. So somehow there are so many negativity around the world right nowadays. Like, people just are so used to people who are lying. People are so used to believe in things that is not right. Somehow, when there is someone out there just standing in front of you, calling for attention, calling for action, calling for something that is good with a good intention, people just don't want to believe in it. People rather believe such a human being is not real. People rather believe that, she's lying than to believe that things like that, those kind of virtue actually do exist in this world. I think that is the first thing. And also the second thing, after watching her kind of a speech again, after watching her speech again, there's a second thing I observed is that, to be honest, I also could feel that her presentation style is pretty feminine. Okay. 她的这个演讲方式是比较有点点偏小女生的，有点女性化，it was really soft. Unlike many of those kind of speech you see normally, like when presenting in front of a large crowd, like someone is like very powerful, like using a very powerful kind of voice, a powerful personality, and just somehow like shouting, sometimes even like, oh, we need to do blah blah blah. Those kind of are the kind of like speech people are very used to. Somehow the kind of tone she used when she's making the speech is pretty soft. Somehow people just interpret soft equals weakness. I guess that might be another reason why many people just do not like her. I guess. 我猜想这可能也是她的这个整个语速非常的慢，并且她的讲话是非常的柔的，可能这也给人家 感觉这是一个很弱的一个女孩。那么这么弱的一个女孩，为什么能够在哈佛的这个毕业典礼上去做演讲呢？那一定是她的家庭背景，不是她自己本身很优秀，right? But somehow I would also feel there comes to another thing, okay? That comes to another big topic, which is why? Why stereotype a person? Why just feel like a woman needs to be like this, a woman needs to be like that, right? So I feel like nowadays, like that comes to another topic, which is I feel like nowadays there are just lots of like ideal kind of there's some ideology that just people feel like a person, a woman or a person should be like this. That is considered to be excellent. That is considered to be powerful, right? So the fact that she makes a speech using a very soft tone, speak it very slowly, is interpreted as she is weak. She's not excellent. She's not intelligent at all. Like she's not, people are not paying attention to her at all. That's the kind of feeling I have, right? So I also have seen an article before that is argues that, well, to be honest, like if you compare it to the Chinese stereotype of a good woman and the American stereotype of a good woman, they are different. Right, in China, a stereotype of a good woman is a woman that actually takes good care of the families and a woman that stays at home, right? A woman who's very soft, a very tender, a very gentle when it comes to many things, who would never fight against their husband, always obeys to their parents, obeys to their husbands, right? And does not have good and does not have a good pursuit when it comes to career, right? It's not ambitious at all. So if a woman is very ambitious, has a very big career dream, then that woman is considered to be too strong. Somehow many of the men here would also say something like, oh, you know what? To say to a woman, you're so ambitious, you're too strong. Why do I need you to be my wife? Something like that. You're stronger than me. Why do I need you as a wife? 你这么强，我要你干嘛？To intimidate myself every single day? Something like that. That's a kind of thing that's in China, right? Men do not like women that is like very ambitious, that who has a career pursuit, something like that. And the traditional ideal type of women are considered to be the kind of woman who just stay at home, take care of the babies, obeys the husband's will, like that. Most young men in China today aren't ambitious at all. Am I in any way? Yeah. 天天开播，每天7点半到9点半，周1到周6，所以几乎每天开播。So the stereotype so for that, okay, if you think that is not right for American women, that is actually a lot better. For American women, they're encouraged to pursue career. They actually the overall vibes in America is different from here in China, right? People there in the US would nowadays at least, okay, before it was not like that, but nowadays it was not treated like if a woman stay at home, take care of the babies, obey their husbands all the time, that is considered to be a very typical good woman. That's not the case in the US. I don't think that's the case in the US, okay? So right now in the US, women are very encouraged to do this, to do that, to pursue career. So for that sense, okay, women is also considered to be relatively freer than the kind of women here in China, right? However, there's also problems with women there in the US, right? For women in the US, they also living in the kind of stereotype. So they also have like a brand that you need to be a perfect woman. So you need to work extremely hard. Like okay, if you want to be a free woman, you call for freedom, right? Then you must be perfect, right? Yeah, you must, like that's must said, you must have a good job, right? You must work, you must be successful in your career, but you also need to take very good care of the family. You must be you also must have a good body. You must be you must look beautiful. Like you must just be perfect. If you're not perfect, then you do not qualify. You're not qualified to call for freedom, something like that. So there are both, no matter it's in China or in the US, like it's all about there is a stereotype, there is an ideal stereotype that woman needs to become. That's the kind of thing that I feel. And this woman is kind of in the middle. So she can satisfy all people. Yeah. So there's no way for a woman to satisfy everyone. But somehow we are just expected to satisfy everyone. We need to be successful when it comes to career, and we need to be extremely good at taking care of the family, a good mom, a good wife. We also need to take good care of our look and our body. We need to be chill, but also need to be hot. We need to be also gentle, loving. Like, just need to be perfect, but it's so hard, right? And I mean, there's lots of definition the society put on top of women, that what kind of woman you need to become, rather than allowing women to become who they really want to be. So that's a kind of problem. Like, so for example, for this girl, like Miss Jiang, when she's presenting in front of the campus, I mean, I watch it, I saw lots of attack against her. I feel like also it comes from the fact that she's presenting the speech in a very soft way, right? She's very soft and very slow way. 她讲话非常的软，也非常的柔，然后呢，也讲得非常的慢，very slow and very tender and very 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 soft. Somehow I just feel like, oh, okay. In my mind, according to my definition, according to my stereotype, for a girl to stand in front of such a large audience to present in the Harvard campus, she must be a very powerful person. She must be talk in a very ambitious, a very aggressive way, and yet she's not doing it. So that's why she's weak. So that's why she's not doing a good job. That's why like she's not qualified to stay in here. That is why like she must be sent by her family to the Harvard campus, not because she's good. That's why I think she looks kind. Yeah. 我真的觉得我看完他的这个演讲以后，我再仔细的看了一遍哈，我就是非常认真的从头到尾听了一遍，我发现说，其实他给人的感觉就是很柔，很柔。很多时候别人就把柔画等线画成了弱，所以别人就会觉得说，这个女的这么弱，这么弱，她怎么能够在这边去发表演讲呢？But I think that is not right. The world treats introvert and extrovert unfairly. Exactly. I think there's a very high chance that she is an introvert. Introvert people, it actually takes, they need to take extra courage to present in front of others. 至柔至刚，至刚至柔，我来看一下哈，我也不知道，我得找 DeepSeek 翻译一下。但现在特别好，我现在有这个电脑在我面前，我可以直接用 DeepSeek 来查至刚至柔，英文来看怎么讲。让我们看一下 DeepSeek 怎么来去翻译至刚至柔，这我也不知道呀。嗯。Oh, there are actually quite good translation in here. So there is a Chinese saying called 至刚至柔. Lots of the good translation: firm and well, tender and hard. So basically, that means if you ask me to translate 至刚至柔, it means that in a person, you can be soft, you can be tender, but you can also be firm. So these two things, they do not contradict with each other. You can have both of them. And though both of them can be very powerful, you can be very firm, but with a very tender attitude. You can have a soft attitude, but at the same time, you are very powerful, you're very firm, you're very strong, right? So it really doesn't matter whether the way you talk is soft or kind or tender. As long as you have a firm heart, there are many things you can do. You can be successful in the end. So also, there is another way saying it called strength with softness, hardness concealed in gentleness, right? Hardness concealed in gentleness, right? So she presents in a very soft way, right? Maybe when I present, I am an extrovert. Maybe if I got an opportunity to present in front of such a big crowd in Harvard graduation ceremony, maybe I would do it in a very humorous way, and I would do it in a very firm way, a very strong way, right? Because that is my vibe, right? That is my charisma. That is my way of talking to people, which is very firm, very strong. That is my way. But still, lots of people also say that I do it very tender, right? People also say like my way of presentation is very soft, right? But her way of presentation is just extra soft. It's extra soft, but there is nothing wrong about being soft, about a style of presentation that is like very soft, right? At the end, sorry, my doorbell is ringing, so I need to go get the doorbell. We'll come back very soon. Okay, don't leave. Okay, friends, don't leave. My doorbell is ringing. Okay, coming back. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I wonder who is delivery guy. Delivery guys. Nowadays, we have a very good e-commerce platform. So you basically just purchase anything online, it will be just delivered to your home. So I'm pretty sure this is delivery guy. Yeah. That's why she calls for and praise the world variety in her speech. Exactly. So it resonates so well with her. Now I feel like her speech makes even more sense, right? She calls for variety. She calls for a variety and she calls for a global village, right? Everyone need to gather together to help solve all those kind of problems. Well, there are many things she called for during her speech. Well, to be honest, I consider that to be quite good speech, right? She called for variety. She also called for attention at this world, the province of this world, right? There's still poverty out there. There is still gender discrimination out there. And she called for attention from that. Well, she's only be given several minutes of doing this speech. What do you expect her to say? She's not given like half an hour to present a very detailed topic, right? To share scientific findings, right? She's just be given like just a few seconds. What else do you expect her to say? And also, she's only a university student. She's not like Steve Jobs, right? Who has a very successful, business. Like no matter what Steve Jobs said, like even Steve Jobs, just said if it was Steve Jobs said for the very same thing, people would not criticize because that was Steve Jobs, right? He has already proved his past success, his experience of building a company. So whatever, no matter what Steve Jobs said, like basically people would say, "Oh yeah, that is good." Now this is a girl like who's only started her career, started her life after graduating from university at her early 20th and was only given several minutes to present in front of such a crowd. Like, what do you expect her to say? And it was a pretty novel thing to call for variety, right? To call for those kind of things. She could actually talk about other things, but she chose to call for variety. And that is exactly what we're lacking today. In today's society, variety is exactly we need to have for today's society. It was not 10 years ago, it was today. Today, when there are so many discrimination that is going on out there, there's such a racism going on out there, right? Calling for variety is exactly what we need for nowadays, and there's nothing wrong about that, right? So the fact that is wrong about her is only maybe like she's talking like too slowly and her way of speech is like too soft, like people just feel like, oh, okay, for someone to talk there she must be like very powerful, very ambitious, something like that, and then somehow people just feel like she's not doing a good job. Yeah, so that's basically my opinion. Okay, that's basically my opinion about the entire thing. Okay, so if we are gonna do it in a very short version, okay, short version for I know there are new joiners in here somehow. We're gonna do it in a very short version. So this girl called Miss Jiang presented in front of a large, very large crowd. Okay, I think over 20,000 people or even more, right, during Harvard graduation ceremony, and somehow she was criticized both by the Westerners and by the Chinese people for making the speech. And well, my opinion on that is I think she's incredible. I think she's good. So people attacked her for like major for three reasons. The first reason is that her English is not good. But like for me, I think her English is like really good. I don't think there's anything wrong with her English. And I think it's okay to have some accent and her English is already good enough. And second thing people attack is about the content she's saying in her speech. And I also think like her content is pretty good, right? She started with a story and then she later on called for action. Ugh, doorbell. Okay, come back later. Okay, back in here. So like also I feel like that is pretty okay, right? And also the third reason people attack her is saying that oh she comes from a decent family and somehow it's because her family that's why she got into the campus of Harvard and also that's why like she is able to be selected as student representative. And I argue that by saying that, oh yeah, I do admit that the family background is also considered to be one of the criteria maybe for the Harvard campus to select whoever should be admitted or whoever should be selected as student representative. But I say that is not the only thing they would take a look at, right? I say that that is not the only criteria that Harvard University would select students. So there must be something that she did to impress the university professors, right? Like Desma said, she must have done something. She must have done something that really impressed the people there that make her qualified to be the student representative and talking there. So in conclusion, in my opinion, I think the fact that so many netizens were attacking her was pretty unfair. I think that lots of people basically attack her out of jealousy, and also people attack her just simply because they do not like her style of speech. That is pretty sad. I just feel like I just sincerely hope that this girl, after this thing, like her life will not be impacted. I sincerely hope that this person will be like I sincerely hope like Miss Jiang would still be whoever she is. Do not get impacted by so many attacks out there. Sometimes you are attacked by others simply just because you are excellent. Back then I had that too. Back then in the company, I was one of the best performer in my company, and just simply because of that, people become jealous and people start to do something that they started to attack me from behind, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on Miss Jiang. And I was also yeah, what were I saying before? I was also saying that somehow I just feel like um I don't know, I just feel really sad for a little girl at such a young age to experience all that. Like I'm so glad that that was not something I experienced myself back then. Like for her, like she's at such a young age and she had to experience that. But this might also be a blessing, right? You experience all those challenges and all the obstacles in the early stage of the life. That's how she, after all this, if she could also grab it as an opportunity, there is also a chance that she could just pop and shine. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there who are just like me, who have the equal opinion, like I do, same opinion as I have, like who really support her, right? So people definitely disappointed me. Their criticism of her, yeah, exactly, Louis the Cat. So I'm pretty sure there are people just like myself who really support her as well, right? So I feel like if she could just stand on those kind of support we provide to her, and then just become a better person, just keep on doing whatever she considered to be the right thing to do, right? Like her said, like she calls for variety, she calls for attention to solve poverty problems, right? World peace, whatever. If she could just really strive to do all those kind of things, like using the power of social media and using the power of the people like us who really support her, really try to make a difference, to continue to do something for this world, then I would clap for her. And I think this Harvard graduation ceremony is going to be a starting point, going to be a new chapter. It's a starting point for her to start a new chapter of her life. Yeah, so that's what I feel. Before she was nobody know about her, even though she's a very excellent student in Harvard, but nobody knows about her, right? But now she becomes famous, even though lots of people attack her. But somehow she becomes famous, right? With the moment you becomes famous, there is something you could do using your fame, right? Just use it in a good way, right? If she could just keep on doing it, like you said, like do a lot of things to advocate for variety, advocate for diversity, I'm pretty sure like her life will be very different. Yeah. She might be able to reach a higher point of her life. So I sincerely hope that this thing is not affecting her negatively. I hope this thing is impacting her, just making her become a stronger woman, becoming a stronger woman, a bigger woman. That is exactly my sincere hope, my sincere wish to her. Yeah, sincere hope, a sincere wish to her. I don't know. I've never got a chance to present in front of a big crowd. So one day in the future, I hope that I could have this opportunity to make a presentation in front of 10,000 people, to make a speech in front of 10,000 people. That is a big challenge. But I hope one day I will be able to do that, to present, to do that as well, like for myself. 我希望有一天我也能有这样的一个机会哈，可以在万人面前去做一个演讲。我觉得这是一个对个人的一个非常大的挑战。I think that is definitely a very, very big challenge to a person, but I am the type of person who just like different kinds of challenges. So I hope one day, let's see, okay, let's see, one day, maybe in the future, I will be given this opportunity to present in front of a crowd of over 10,000 people. I'll definitely watch that. 不知道哈，不知道是将来会不会有这个机会，但是我希望将来能有这么一天，我能有这样的一个机会，可以站在万人面前去做一番演讲。这个 it's 这个对我来说，I think that this is for me is going to be a huge, huge challenge. But I do want to have this kind of challenge. I do want to really challenge myself to do it. 我也很希望能够挑战我自己，变成一个更强大的人 more powerful person. Yeah, that is my wish. Yeah, maybe I will be just so nervous if I ever got this opportunity. I would be so nervous. Oh, so nervous. But that is definitely a challenge that I do want to have. Do want to have. Yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, it's 9:30. So thank you again for all my friends to come into the live stream. For those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me, okay? Don't forget to follow me if you haven't done so, my friends. And usually I would have my live stream from 7:30 to 9:30 China time. I think I can be more punctual going forward because of this new breakfast routine. Okay, because of this new breakfast routine, so that's why I can have some extra time to prep. So that's why I can probably sit in front of those laptop earlier than usual. So for those of you who haven't followed me, don't forget to follow me, okay? And thank you so much for all the friends who come to the live stream to provide your support, okay? Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye bye. Bye bye.